The mind of battle. Christ came several centuries after Sri Krishna, and a lot of people say that what he brought to his land, the Middle East, was actually something very, very, very foreign. And that's the reason he got killed. Or at least he was tried to be killed. So they say he probably came to India and learned from here. Nobody can be sure. There is no historical record. But when you look at what he is saying, that is so very different from the Old Testament that one feels intuitively, in this coming from India, is this coming from India? So one is reminded of his statement on the cross, "O Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." So taking of ingratitude, how does one not remember Christ? And whenever you will remember Christ, you will have to wonder, did he come to the place of Sri Krishna? We can only guess. Verse 6, chapter 2. It's difficult for me to decide what would be better, that we should conquer them or they should conquer us. I cannot really say which one is better. The sons of Dhritarashtra who stand in front of us are the ones we should not care to live after they are slain. Chapter 2, verse 6. Arjuna continues, "It's difficult for me to decide what would be better, that we should conquer them or they should conquer us. I cannot really say which one is better." These son of Dhritarashtra, he is referring to them Dhritarashtra, just as Arjuna being the son of Pritha is referred to as Partha. So their sons of Dhritarashtra who stand in front of us are the ones who should not care to live after they are slain. Look at the exuberance in emotion and attachment. Those sons of Dhritarashtra who stand facing us. I will not care to live after I have slayed them. The kind of relationship, this kind of association. Shri Krishna, I really do not know what is better, whether to slay them or get killed by them. They are the ones who I love so much that I would not want to live if there are no more. That's the mark of the person who has totally lost the state of Vibhrama, complete inner haze and confusion. You remember what Shri Krishna says when we begin here? This is verse 11. Arjuna, you are mourning for them who should not be mourned for, those who do not deserve much pity or consideration. You are bothering too much for them. You are regretting something that does not deserve any regrets. You are sorrowful for something that merits no sorrow. And that's the mark, I said, of the person in an inner haze. He does not know where to place value. In contrast, the person who is operating from the right center may display much the same emotions and signs as the person operating from confusion, but there will be a critical difference. Please understand this. The fellow operating from clarity too might be found mourning and regretting, but he will be regretting something of a very different value. In contrast, the fellow operating from confusion too might be found regretting something, but the object of this regret will be entirely different. So the difference between clarity and confusion is not that one regrets and the other does not. The difference is that they regret for different values. The reason and the objects associated with their regret are very different. The saint dances, so does the sinner, but there is a fundamental difference in the reason. The saint laughs, so does the sinner, but the laughters are very different. The saint weeps, so does the sinner, but the reasons are very different. The saint does run after something just as the common householder, but the object that the saint must run after is going to be very different from the object that the householder would run after. The difference lies not in the act, but in the actor. The difference lies not in the running, but in the runner. Are you getting it? And that's the reason Shri Krishna admonishes him by saying, you are grieving for something that does not deserve your grief. Mind and word deserve, and the word deserve relates to value. You have to see what is it in the world that is deserving of your attention, your energy, your time, your money, your dedication, and your tears. Not everything in the world deserves what you have to give. Not everything deserves to be seen. Not everything deserves to be heard. Not everything deserves to be coveted. Not everything deserves to be spurned. The mark of one operating from the right center is that he knows exactly what is to be taken and what is to be dropped, what is to be admitted and what is to be denied. Admission and denial are things that must happen with everyone, irrespective of whether you are operating from clarity or confusion. It's just that when you are operating from clarity, you will know exactly because you are clear. Because you are clear, you know exactly what to admit into your insides. You will know when and for what to rejoice. And it's not as if the fellow who is operating from ignorance and inner haze does not rejoice. He does rejoice. In fact, he could be found rejoicing more frequently than the one with clarity. But he would be rejoicing with respect of all the wrong objects and for the total wrong reasons. Now, what is wrong here? Is it a thing of morality? No. Right and wrong are only with respect to your consciousness and its ultimate objective. Because your consciousness desires freedom, liberation, and clarity, so the wrongness of something is determined by the extent to which it fails in bringing your clarity. The rightness of something is decided by the extent and the ease it displays in bringing you clarity. The definition you could state in other terms as well. Instead of saying that if the things brings you clarity, it is right for you, you could say if the things brings you liberation, it is right for you. If the things brings to you selflessness, it is right for you. You could put it in many other ways, and all those ways are surely interrelated, right? Just like the same sentence translated in 5 languages. That is the first response that Shri Krishna has to offer. All his emotional outburst and beating of the chest and welling up of the eyes, rather overflowing of the eyes, Shri Krishna is observing all this, and then he finally says, dear friend, dear student. That's his first response, or one of the first responses, because he has said a few things at the opening of the 2nd chapter as well. So don't quote me wrong here. In the opening of the 2nd chapter too, he has said a few things, but this is amongst the first thing that Shri Krishna has to say. You are weeping for those who do not deserve to be wept for. That's all. He doesn't say don't weep. He says weeping is all right. But do you know whom for weep for? It's all right to weep. Weep buckets, but weep for the right reason and the right people. They do not deserve your sympathy, your grief, and all this that you are offering to them. The mark of inner delusion is misplaced value. Misplaced value. There would be nobody here who does not value stuff. That is that. This is that. Do you value something? You do? Do you value something? Of course. Do I value something? Surely. The difference lies in the one who values. If I know who I am, then I will know what I need. The value that I accord to something will then correspond to the utility that thing really brings to my core. And that's a way to assign value to stuff. What is stuff? Prakriti. When I say stuff, I mean Prakriti. There are objects all around you. How do you know which one to go for? You have limited time and limited energy. There are so many books around you. How do you know which one to read? So many people. How do you know which one to associate with? So many movies. So many movies. And you surely have great movies as well. But which one is the great one for you? How do you determine that? That's the test of clarity. Clothes. Which one and why? Food. Company. Most important thing, words. Your own emotions. Why got hurt? How much emphasis? How much importance do you want to attach to your hurt? How much emphasis? How much importance do you want to attach to your hurt? That's what. Oh, I got hurt. And if you will get illuminated or polished, you will get hurt. It is possible to be polished and not be hurt. Now, what is it that you place higher value on? The fact that you have been given a shine, a luster, or the fact that you have been given a blister? Yes. And when you will get that luster, blisters too are likely to accompany, are they not? So value is everything. Knowing what is important, and I have said that a few times. This was the first question that struck me very powerfully when I was a teen, rather a preteen. Who am I? Came much later. This was the question. But what is important? That time I didn't have the Vedantic insights to ask from whom. Today you all are smart enough and you will immediately say the moment somebody says, but what is important? Very coolly, you will shoot back from home. I had nobody to, and probably I was too young to be taught that. But this question kept looming large. What is important? How do I know what is important? And that's the entire thing here with Arjuna. He does not know what is important. Would you learn what is important? Yes, then the Gita is for you. The Gita is some sense, is a document on valuation, the subtle art of valuation. How do you value something? So value is everything. Is it?